From the John C. Hench Production Arts Studios in Peoria, Illinois, VideoMax Limited presents Midstate Magazine with your hosts, Kayla Neitz and Kyle Peck. News with Aaron Morden and Danielle Kayimski, featuring your Midstate reporting team. Sports with Katrina Baumgartner. Get Real with Nikki Garabrandt. Stephanie Robbins is on the beat. State of the Arts with Brooke James. Rebecca Williams is in the spotlight. Anna Tassi takes us about town. And About Crew with Noel Nefford. And now, from America's friendliest city, Midstate Magazine. Take it away, kids.
Good evening and welcome to Midstate Magazine. I'm your host, Kyle Peck.
And I'm Kayla Neitz.
All right, so I found something really interesting today. Apparently, Sarah Manchester, who was a part of Wheel of Fortune, became the third person to win $1 million.
Wow.
So that was pretty amazing.
So it's the third person ever on the show to win $1 million. So that is really significant. I actually read I saw a little video of another Wheel of Fortune episode where basically the guy, all he had to do was read the sentence. So he filled out all the letters, he got them all right, and he just had to read what it said. And what it said was Greek mythological hero Achilles.
Yeah.
But what he said was Greek mythological hero Achilles. So because the pronunciation was so far off, the woman who also was competing in the Wheel of Fortune game, all she had to do was read it, and all she had to do was say Achilles, and she got the $1 million.
How do you mispronounce Achilles?
I don't know. You should have seen the host's face, though. It was pretty funny. He said Achilles, and the host was just kind of looked at him for a second. He's just, no, that wasn't it.
Maybe he meant to say Patroclus or something like that.
I don't know, but it was just funny to me because you're so close to the $1 million and then it's kind of taken from you, and then the woman who did kind of all the work.
That's so unfortunate.
The woman right next to him got all of the money because she just pronounced it right. So yeah, speaking of unfortunate, it was the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Wheel of Unfortune. Let's check in with the news team now.
Good evening. Welcome to Midstate Magazine. I'm Aaron Morden.
And I'm Danielle Kayimski. Let's take a look at the news.
The propaganda video released Saturday is said to show Briton David Haynes being beheaded. Like the videos of James Foley and Stephen Setloff executions, Haynes is shown kneeling in front of his executioners, wearing an orange suit. The British Embassy in Washington, D.C. said they are working to verify the video's contents. British Prime Minister David Cameron wrote in a tweet, "The murder of David Haynes is an act of pure evil." The Prime Minister also promised to hunt down those responsible.
The Susan G. Komen Foundation held his annual Race for the Cure in Bloomington Normal Saturday. More than 1,500 people came together to fight the battle against breast cancer. At the event, survivors, caregivers, and loved ones could find support, good company, and a place for reflection. 99 teams raised more than $170,000, almost reaching their goal of $250,000. That money was used to help researchers find a cure and much more.
A solar storm is hitting Earth with powerful waves of radiation. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said 2 coronal mass ejections hit the planet at a speed of 2.5 million miles per hour. The Earth's atmosphere keeps the radiation from penetrating to the surface, but the waves could have an effect on satellites and radio transmissions. The solar storm is expected to end late Saturday. No major problems are anticipated.
A newly proposed bill could have local police officers wearing body cameras in the near future. Illinois State Representative Jihan Gordon Booth is pushing forward legislation that could increase the price of traffic tickets by $6. The additional money would go directly to equipping police departments with body cameras. Now let's go to Katrina with sports.
Thanks, Danielle. ICC soccer coach Oz Bakerdan, for the very first time in his coaching career, had to hand out all small or medium-sized jerseys this year. He thought this would have a huge drawback for his team with a noticeable size difference. Almost all the players are less than 5 foot 10 inches, with only 2 players barely 6 feet. To Bakerdan's delight, the noticeable size difference has not been a problem for the Cougars, who have jumped out to a 4-0 record all away or neutral field settings. The Cougars have beaten 2 ranked NGCAA Division I teams. They beat number 15 Cloud County 1-0 and number 16 Jefferson College 2-0. Bakerdan is impressed with the team's technical play style with crisp passing and good goal scoring. Coach Bakerdan has contributed the good start to the team's overall hard work and improvement in physical condition. This can best be seen with goalie Miguel Penaloza, who lost 34 pounds in the offseason. The first 2 weeks of the ISHA football season has been a wet and rain-filled start. Most games have encountered weather delays and postponements, but each game has brought surprising scores and dramatic finishes. 5 schools have started off their seasons with a 2-0 mark this year. Those include Notre Dame, Peoria High, Washington, Canton, and East Peoria. Notre Dame destroyed their first week opponent, Richwoods, 42-0. In their second game, Notre Dame beat 7A-ranked opponent Quincy behind strong play of senior quarterback DeMarco Washington. Peoria High has also been impressive in their first 2 weeks by beating traditional Quad City heavyweights Alaman and Moline with the combined scores 103-21. Washington has jumped out to a 2-0 record behind a strong defense made up of mostly first-year starts. Junior running back Randy Menoweather has come out strong in the young season with 3 touchdowns against LaSalle Peru. Canton has started out 2-0 in the season for the first time since 2007, behind the play of senior quarterback Cole Shrout, who ran for 2 touchdowns and threw 1 in their 38-32 win over Streeter. East Peoria scored in the last minute to beat Streeter in their opener, then had an easy victory over Chicago Collins, 48-6. Adrian Peterson was deactivated for Week 2 by the Minnesota Vikings for being indicted by a grand jury for negligent injury to a child. The felony charge in the state of Texas is coming from a report that Peterson hits his 4-year-old son with a wooden switch as a punishment. Peterson says that he meant no harm with his act. Authorities say that Peterson has complied completely with the investigation and through the court process. The Vikings reactivated Peterson on the 15th, the same day that another report came out that Peterson hits his other 4-year-old son. In the second report, it says his son was punished for saying a curse word to another sibling. That's all for sports. Back to you, Danielle.
Thanks, Katrina. A giant alligator caught by Falmouth, Alabama earlier this month has set a Safari Club International world record. A pair of master measurers from Safari Club International examined the 1,000-pound alligator on Friday, determining a total length of 15 feet and 9 inches. That's 13 inches longer than the organization's previous world record American alligator. The Alabama alligator was caught by the Stokes family after more than 5 hours. It was hooked in a creek about 80 miles west of the Montgomery. In order to weigh the alligator, they had to use a backhoe in order to lift it. Well, that's one good thing about living in the Midwest. The worst thing we have is bees.
Well, that wraps up Midstate Magazine for the week. I'm Katrina Baumgartner.
I'm Aaron Morden.
And I'm Dale Hayimski. Have a great night and be sure to join us next week.
Thank you, news team. Man, I feel like everything is just going on with the NFL right now between the Peterson scandal and the Ray Rice scandal. It's really a shame.
Yeah, it really is a shame.
But you were telling me something a little bit on a more of a positive note, maybe a little bit of a scary note too, the Nick Wallenda story.
Yes, Nick Wallenda is going to be now tackling the challenge of going to the Chicago Riverwalk on November 2nd.
And what does Nick Wallenda do?
Nick Wallenda is an aerial performer. He's crossed over the Niagara Falls, he's crossed the gorge of the Grand Canyon, and now he's doing the Riverwalk.
So basically he will be tight roping with this big long balancing stick, and he will go across what, 2 miles? Skyscrapers, right?
2 skyscrapers, yes.
Okay, and that's happening on, it's supposed to be November 2nd,
November
correct?
2nd, yeah, but he does have some issues. He has to follow the Aerial Exhibitor Safety Act, and then he has to talk with the engineering teams to make sure that everything runs smoothly for 90 miles per hour.
Wow,
winds,
okay. Well, we will get back to that. Let's see what Taylor has interviewed for About Crew.
Most people don't know what takes place behind the camera during a newscast. Let me show you a day in the life of the teleprompter here at Midstate Magazine. Television arts major Ryan Southwood explains how he prepares for a show.
On Tuesday nights, which are the nights before we film some of our segments here in the studio, I will get some emails, and then I'll come in here on Wednesday night and kind of open those emails up, because they have files that have what's going to go up on the teleprompter.
Because it is only Ryan's second semester at Midstate Magazine, he still has much to learn.
You know, I wanted to kind of experiment with all the different positions. I did camera last semester, and I thought the teleprompter seemed interesting.
Ryan is having a wonderful experience at Midstate Magazine and plans to grow each day.
We're producing an actual show that airs on TV, so this is perfect practice to kind of put my skills into use.
For Midstate Magazine, I'm Taylor Hurnett.
Thanks, Taylor. It's so cool to see everyone who's involved in Midstate Magazine. Ellie is actually our producer now, and she's been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, she really has.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate because, you know, Stephanie was our producer. She did an amazing job. Now we have an equally amazing producer, so been very fortunate in that aspect. But You know, I heard an interesting story about a man who tried to sell cocaine to a police officer. It was an undercover police officer.
Okay.
So that's why he originally started to sell to him. And when the police officer got it, he eventually found out that it was actually just a crushed up Pop-Tart. So not only was he accidentally selling to a cop, which was, you know, his first no-no, big mistake, but he also was trying to scam the cop by giving him fake cocaine.
What? Come on.
I don't know.
I mean, first you do that to... There shouldn't even be any reason why you should do that in the first place. What?
Well, and you know, I think, you know, this is happening more than you would expect. You know, there's so many people who are undercover cops. They're all over the place. I just watched a TV show where a prostitute was soliciting, and the guy was an undercover cop, and she got caught, of course. And, you know, so undercover cops are everywhere. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, I gotta be careful of those.
More importantly, you gotta make good choices, right?
Right.
So, but next we've got some more coming up that'll be good. But let's check in with that right now, okay?
All right. Let's check in with Rebecca and see what the stars are up to these days on In the Spotlight.
I'm Rebecca Williams, and this is In the Spotlight. Lauren Conrad and William Tell are married. The reality star turned fashion designer and law student tied the knot in California on Saturday. Lauren Conrad said she met Tell through a mutual friend on Valentine's Day in 2012. He later proposed and worked on graduating from school before the big day. Lauren said, "If you're going to settle down, it should be with someone you can't stop thinking about." We couldn't agree more. Congrats to the happy couple. The new season of Dancing with the Stars kicked off this Monday with a whole new celebrity cast and a new judge, a former dance pro on the show, Julianne Hough. The cast includes Mean Girls star Jonathan Bennett, fashion designer Betsy Johnson, Olympian Lolo Jones, Pretty Little Liars star Janelle Parrish, and more. It should be a great season. We can't wait to see what they have up their sleeves. A group of fraternity brothers are having the time of their life after Shake It Off singer Taylor Swift invited them all to her concert next year after they posted a lip dub to her super catchy pop song. The video features the brothers going through their house, dancing and singing their hearts out. The video now has over 1 million views. For In the Spotlight, I'm Rebecca Williams.
Thanks, Rebecca. I should really check out that video.
Yeah, absolutely. So next we've got Let's Eat with Pablo, which I'm always really excited about because I love to hear about new restaurants.
Yep.
But I heard a very interesting story in the news about a man who was working and he was eating his lunch, and it was basically spaghetti and meatballs. But his employee came over and stole one of his meatballs, and he stabbed him because of it. So I don't know if you're the type of person that gets really touchy about the food. I don't really like people touching my food, but I would never go to the extent of stabbing somebody.
Yeah, I would never do that either. It's just, it's not even that common anymore where you just like steal somebody's food and then stab somebody.
Well, no, the stabbing maybe isn't as common, but it's a little bit more common than you would think because I read 2 other stories about another man who did something similar, but then 2 brothers who, the one brother ate the younger brother's macaroni and cheese.
Right.
And he just stabbed him as well. So this is a recurring thing. But let's see what Pablo's cooked up for us, and let's eat.
Born and raised in Chicago, I've experienced a wide varieties of pizza, from Chicago's legendary deep dish pies to the jumbo slice. Now, while Peoria's pizza scene may differ from my hometown of Chicago, Bocce's Pizzeria does definitely remind you what Chicago pizza is truly about. Bocce's Pizzeria, located on the corner of Bradley and Duria, offers that great Chicago taste for pizza, with its own little twist, with a slice that measures approximately over a foot. And it's also a nice little stop for Bradley students, as well as the Peorians within the area. Aside from their traditional toppings of pepperoni, sausage, and cheese, Bocce's offers specialty toppings that can be ordered. However, this week, I decided to keep it simple, and just order myself a jumbo sliced cheese pizza, which was fantastic. The size of this slice would satisfy any appetite, including mine. Today, Bocce's is as easy as ever to order. You can order on the phone or order delivery from their website, offering many handmade special pizzas. For Midstate Magazine's Let's Eat, I'm Pablo Iglesias.
Thanks, Pablo. You can always find good food here in Peoria. And speaking of food, I do have a really interesting story to talk about.
All right, go ahead.
So apparently, Japan has now opened the availability to buy black burgers. So black burgers was popular back in 2012, and now it's back for a limited time. But here's what the black burger entails. The cheese and the buns are black, but the ketchup is turned into a sauce with squid ink.
This doesn't sound very good to me.
No, it does not. It really does not. But here's the weird part. There's two different types.
Okay.
Okay, there's the diamond burger, and then there's the churro burger. The churro burger is just the plain black cheeseburger with the black buns and cheese. And then there's the diamond burger, which is adding onions, lettuce, tomatoes, and this ketchup squid ink. I don't...
Kyle, I'm going to stop you right there. I consider myself a pretty adventurous food trier.
I do too,
okay?
but
I will not be trying this burger. I'm the classic cheeseburger with not black buns.
Yeah.
I prefer them to be quite brown, maybe a little crispy if you put them on the grill. Other than that, I'm out.
Apparently the Japanese really like it. It got really popular, and it just, when I saw it, I was like, okay, no, this is going way too far in fast food chain restaurants.
To each his own.
Yeah.
Let's check out with the latest in music with Stephanie on The Beat.
I'm Stephanie Robbins with On The Beat. It's been about 5 years since the band U2 has released an album, but that didn't stop them from coming back strong. Their new album, Songs of Innocence, came as a surprise to all iTunes customers. It was released with no advance notice and was automatically added to everyone's iTunes playlists. Songs of Innocence is similar to their previous album, No Line on the Horizon, because it contains many similar chords and beats. And if you compare it to their music in their 90s though, it's quite a bit different because of the newer contemporary sound. Their new album is a little more upbeat than their last one, but it still features songs with meaningful lyrics. For instance, Raised by Wolves is about an Irish car bombing, while Iris seems to be about Bono's mother, and Songs for Someone appears to be about a recollection of Bono meeting his wife. Just like their old songs, they always tell a story through their music and riffs. And The Edge still rocks out the guitar and carries us through these stories to make them enjoyable and memorable. The vast variety of song meanings brings the album to life in a new and exciting way. Overall, the music on this record seems to show that U2 has decided to set a new tone to their music, despite the mix of opinions from their audience and previous listeners. Even though the album is more laid back than previous U2 songs, it still holds true to their unique sound. For On The Beat, I'm Stephanie Robbins.
Thanks, Stephanie. Did the YouTube album download into iTunes?
The YouTube album did download into my iTunes playlist, and I was a little bit alarmed. So here's what happened, okay? I'm going to give you the scene.
Okay.
I'm at the gym. I'm on the elliptical. All of a sudden, a U2 song comes on. And I'm thinking, I've never bought a U2 song. So then I immediately text my little brother and I say, get off of my iTunes account and stop buying songs. And he says, Kayla, what are you talking about? And then I started Googling and I realized that U2 automatically downloaded on everyone's iTunes playlist.
Yeah.
And I apologized to my little brother for snapping at him. So that's basically what happened.
All right. Well, speaking.
But really, I was very surprised to see it on my iTunes playlist. I had no idea where it came from. But speaking of music, you have Spring Awakening. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Spring Awakening is basically based on an 1891 German play that was made 2007 Broadway musical, where it's about teen adolescents exploring their sensuality.
Okay.
And they talk about rape, abortion,
and that starts
violence.
September 25th?
Yes. Opening night is September 25th.
All right. Let's see who our special guest is in State of the Arts.
Hello, and welcome to State of the Arts. I'm your host, Brooke Janes. Tonight, it's our pleasure to welcome Pablo Iglesias, a local musician and Bradley student. Welcome to the show, Pablo.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So this is your third time on the show, correct?
Yep, third time.
Okay.
Third time here.
Yeah, and you played ukulele your first time,
yes.
I believe. Was it the same guitar you played last time?
Yes, this is the same guitar. It's my Taylor.
Sure.
So take it everywhere with me.
Your baby. Okay. Is there anything new with you?
Yeah, actually, this past summer, I'm part of the band Ocean Glass, who actually you guys had, I think, like last year in October.
Yep.
So, actually, I just joined the band, and we played a sold-out show at the House of Blues in Chicago.
Okay. When was that?
I'm sorry?
When was that?
This was in June, so right at the start of summer break.
Nice.
And it was my first show with them, too. So, nerves actually weren't that rattled, though.
Really?
It was a really fun experience. And for it to be my first show with that band, it was just incredible.
You just boosted them to stardom.
Yeah.
That's what you did. Were you the headliners?
No, actually, we were the third band, I believe, on the bill. So actually, there were 5 altogether.
Okay.
So we were actually like right in the middle. So that was pretty cool, though.
Very nice. That's very impressive, especially for your first show.
Right.
What are you going to be playing tonight?
So today, I will actually be playing a song that I wrote because I've done 2 covers before and doing an original now.
Okay.
So this is a song actually that won't be on our EP that's coming out this fall.
Okay.
Which will be out on Spotify though.
Okay, on Spotify.
Later this fall once again.
That works.
But this is an unreleased track, and I actually wrote it myself, so it's called July 1st.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my song.
One more question: does everybody in the band write songs, or?
Actually, really, it's our lead singer Nishat, who actually is the only student that doesn't go to Bradley here, and this is kind of my first stab at writing songs, and they just liked it, so we just play it live now.
Cool. I'm excited to hear it.
All right.
All right. Go for it.
Those days, you were always on my mind. Oh, your words, oh, they were so unkind. Oh, you told me, oh, I was no good. And now, oh, now I think I should say I'm sorry. Oh, you are to blame. Oh, and now, oh, I will go my own way. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you are to blame. And now, oh, I will go my own way. Oh, hey, oh. It was things that you said that made me want to stay. Oh, but now I see the games you play. Oh, and when I wanted you to be the only one there. Oh, it just seems like you never cared. I'm sorry. Oh, you are to blame. Oh, and now, oh, I will go my own way. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you are to blame. And now, oh, I will go my own way. Oh, hey, oh.
Well done. You never fail to impress.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on, Pablo. That's all the time we have for this week. Join us next week to see more talent from the Peoria area. For State of the Arts, I'm Brooke Janes.
That was great.
That was great. That was really, really good. I was
Yeah.
extremely impressed with him, and he said that that was the first song that he's ever written.
Yeah, I found that really interesting too.
I'm a little bit jealous that Brooke got her own personal concert by the Pablo.
Yeah,
Maybe one
because
day
he's
I'll
really
get one.
involved in Midstate Magazine.
He sure is. But why don't you tell us, remind us of the dates for Spring Awakening as we wrap up the show.
Yes, Spring Awakening, opening night is September 25th, which is a Thursday. Thursday through Saturday is at 8, Sundays at 2:30.
So the last day is October 5th?
Last day is October 5th.
Okay.
And tickets are for freshmen, $5.
Sure.
For students, $9, and for general admission, it's I think $11 or $13.
Well, I will be sure to be checking that out. That's all we have from Midstate Magazine this week. I'm your host, Kayla Neitz.
And I'm Kyle Peck.
Thanks.
So, do you want? So there's a recap. We can talk about the Black Burgers, or we can talk about Wheel of Fortune, or we can talk about Nick Wallenda.
Well, we did talk a lot about a lot of different things today. Nick Wallenda, I'm definitely looking forward to.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I would be concerned to be his wife, because he did have 3 children and a wife, and if that were me, I would just be like, you know, I don't care how many times you've done this, you are not getting up on that tightrope, and you are not going to be coming back down, because there's no safety net. He's not attached to anything.
Right.
So that would be very scary for me to be his family members.
Yeah, but he does seem pretty confident. He did say that it's a challenge, but it's simple. It's simple because he's done it for so long.
Sure.
But you know, I'm praying that he's going to do very well with it and he doesn't die.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Are you a part of Spring Awakening? Are you involved in it?
Yes, I am a part of Spring Awakening. I play a character called Hanshin. He is smooth, relaxed. He's a little deliberate with his actions, but he's an opportunist. So when he wants something, he gets it.
Now, will you give us a little bit of a sneak peek about what Spring Awakening is about?
Yes, Spring Awakening is basically a alternative rock musical that was made a Broadway hit back in 2007. And basically it's about teenagers exploring themselves, their sensuality. And it's a really fun musical, and I love the director, I love the people that I'm working with, I love the crew. It's all coming together, and we only have like 5 or 6 days left, but we're really excited to be performing this.
Very cool. I think my all-time favorite musical is Beauty and the Beast, which I don't know if you've ever seen it before.
I have.
My high school put it on as a production, and they did a phenomenal job. The main character, Belle, was played by a girl named Aubrey Talley, and she is just incredible. I'm sure she's going to do really big things in the future. But yeah, that would have to be my favorite. I've also seen the Lion King musical.
Love the Lion King.
Which is
Absolutely
pretty incredible.
love it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
I do. It's Jersey Boys.
Okay.
I got to
I'm not
see,
familiar with that one. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
It's kind of a 1960, well, it's based on the 1960s band Jersey Boys, or the Four Seasons, and it's basically talking about their journey about how they got into stardom. You know, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons is how they were called back then, but then they were called Jersey Boys. But I got to see it on my 13th birthday because my mom allowed me to, and that was actually the first musical that I watched, and I loved it ever since.
Very cool. Okay. Well, you know, there's a lot of things in the media right now about health and everything that's going into our foods. And you know what I read is that even in the foods that are supposed to be healthy, like our vegetables, there's still a lot of preservatives and a lot of that stuff that's going into it that we don't actually need, which I thought was very interesting because, you know, someone who I know actually cut out all preservatives in his diet, and he just ended up losing like 30 pounds.
Really?
And he didn't eat any less, he just cut out the preservatives. So I thought that was very interesting.
Well, that's all from Midstate Magazine for the week. I'm your host, Kyle Peck.
And I'm Kayla Neitz. Have a great night, and be sure to see us next week.